We're going to be on page 11 today in our English books. We're still talking about sentences, and we're talking about subjects, who or what the sentence is about, and predicates. That's the verb part of the sentence. It's what the subject does or what the subject is. Okay, like if the subject is the brown dog ran around the yard. What did he do? He ran. That's the predicate part, right? That's the action word. So today we're going to be talking about combining subjects and predicates. Combining means putting things together, okay? Like putting two things together. So at the top of your page, let's everybody take this finger and point to the yellow box at the top, because that's where we always start out. That tells us what we're going to be learning about today, okay? All right, so it tells us that sentences can be combined, that means put together, with the word and. We all know that word, don't we? They can be combined with the word and if the subjects or the predicates are the same. So, if we have these two sentences, this is in your box, you can see it, I'm going to write it on the board. Dad caught a trout. I hear noise, it needs to stop. Dad fried the trout. That's two different sentences, yes?
Oh, I was going to say the answer.
Okay, so how would we combine that then?
Dad caught a trout and fried the trout.
Except you wouldn't have to say the trout two times because they're the same, and so is Dad. So what we would say is, Dad caught, there's that word, and, there's that word, fried the trout. There's those words, okay? Dad caught a trout, Dad fried the trout. You can combine or put those two sentences together to make one sentence, Rayana. Dad caught and fried the trout. Okay? The things that are the same, Dad and trout. He did two different things to it, but we can make it into one sentence, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's easier, when you're reading or writing, it flows better than having lots of little short sentences. Sometimes it's nice to have bigger, more complex sentences. It makes your reading or your writing more interesting, okay? By using, combining your subjects. You can also do the same, if they do that, combine them if you have the same predicate. Lobster tastes delicious. And crab tastes delicious. So we have two sentences there. Lobster tastes delicious. Crab tastes delicious. We could combine those together, and those are actually because they're individual. Tastes, you have an S on your verb if you don't have an S on your noun. But if you combine them, you would say lobster and, there's that word again, right? Crab taste delicious. So we're using both of our subjects. They both taste delicious. So you can combine them into making one sentence. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Notice that some words may change when sentences are combined. For example, we have, like I was saying, when you have a singular noun, that singular means one, right? It has no S's on it if it's singular, right? But then your verb, when it's singular, it does have an S on it. But then when we have two nouns combined with the word and, then you have a plural verb Plural verbs don't have S's on them, but plural nouns do have S's on them. They're the opposite of each other, okay? And we'll learn more about that a little bit later on. All right, let's do some oral practice. I'm going to pull my stool up here so that we can work on this together, and I don't have to write on the board for this part. All right, oral practice. All right, it says, underline the subjects in the pair of sentences that could be joined with the word and then combine the sentences with the word and then tell your teacher the new sentence. So, number 1, anchovies have a strong smell. Sardines have a strong smell. What two words and what word in each one of those sentences would we underline that we could use with the word and? Nathan?
Anchovies and
Anchovies in the first one.
sardines.
Sardines in the second one. Very good. Personally, I wouldn't want to eat either one of them, but because they do have a strong smell. But that's very good, Nathan. And then what would your sentence be like, Nathan, if you combined it?
Anchovies and sardines have a strong smell.
Very good. That's exactly what that would be like. Does everybody understand what he did? Good job, Nathan. All right, in number 2, we're going to underline the predicate part. That's the verb part of the sentence. What's that?
The first one.
Anchovies in one and sardines in one. And then he combined those to make one sentence. In the second one, Mom bought some oysters. Mom steamed some oysters. What things would we underline that we could combine with the word and, Liam?
Bought and steamed.
Right, bought some oysters. The predicate part would be bought some oysters. You would underline that. And steamed some oysters. You would underline that. And then what would that sentence read like, Liam, if we did that?
Mom bought and oysters and steamed oysters.
Right, but you wouldn't have to say oysters twice. You would just say Mom bought and steamed oysters. Very good. You would only have to say the oysters once. Any of the words that you see repeated, you only have to say them one time. Like mom, we'd only say mom once. We would only say some oysters once. We would combine bought and steamed like you were saying, and that would be how Mom bought and steamed some oysters. Let's do the guided practice and see how we do on that. Kai, on number 3. Clams have shells, oysters have shells. What would we do with that one?
Oysters are steamed.
Very good. Clams and oysters. Oysters. I don't think that's spelled right. I don't know how to spell that. Clams and O-Y-S. Clams and oysters have shells. Everybody see how we did that? Good job, Kai. And then number 4. Our family eats shrimp. Our family eats lobster. Tyler, how would we combine that?
Our family is not our family eats lobsters.
Forgetting something though. Aiden Vanderberg.
All families eat shrimp and lobsters.
Very good. Our family eats, see that's the same in both, shrimp and lobster. just combine the two things that can go with the same, the words that are the same with the word and. All right, look at the back of your page.
I didn't finish writing this.
Okay, well, after you go ahead and finish writing that. Once you finish copying that sentence or writing that sentence, we will do page 12. It says independent practice. Independent means by yourself. So you can work on that one. I'll get you started on it. Where you're going to underline the subjects or predicates that could be joined with the word and in each one of them. And then for 6 through 9, you're going to take the two sentences and combine them into one sentence. And then you're going to do apply and write, which says write a pair of sentences and combine the subjects or predicates to make one sentence. And once we finish page 12, everyone will get one of these, page 6 from your extra practice, and we'll write our name on that. And it's the same thing. It's underlining the parts that are the same and combining them to make one sentence out of 2. All right? So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let everybody get finished with that and then flip over to the back and get that done.